Chapter 626 of Tower of God was absolutely insane. We're finally getting a Traumerei and Gustang fight, and we just got a lot of shit going on in this chapter. Before I begin the review, I just want to thank everyone for tuning into the stream, my first ever Tower of God live stream, and I apologize for the audio not being on mono. That's my fault for not testing it, but hopefully I don't make any more mistakes like that and I can keep doing these live streams as long as I have spare time. So in this chapter, we finally get back to the Traumerei and Enkidu situation, and we depart from Dumas and Bomb for now. And I mean, this chapter was great, like I said earlier, like solid chapter, such a step up from the last few weeks. We get more information on Traumerei, how he acts, and his lack of reaction to Ameuz. So that's what Enkidu is trying to do here. In this whole chapter, he's trying to make Traumerei remember Ameuz and kind of have him like a conicky mental breakdown about Ameuz, about if there's a person he supposedly loved, and that does not happen at all. Traumerei does not give a shit about Ameuz or anybody in this whole story. So one interesting thing I noticed when Traumerei was remembering Ameuz is that he only remembered the physical traits of Ameuz, like even her movements, the clothes she wears, her facial expressions, how she looked. He only remembered physical things, nothing about her character, nothing about emotions or feelings or anything like that. So that brings up the question, does Traumerei, like, if he really loved her, if he really cared about her, you would think he would like be bawling out right now, but he's clearly not. What was the question I was asked? It was going to be, are Traumerei's memories impeding his lack of reaction because his memories are only partially there? Or does he really just not feel anything for Ameuz whatsoever? I think it is the latter. Maybe you can give him some leeway with the first option, that his memories are not fully there. But I really think that Traumere doesn't care about her at all. He never cried. He never felt bad. He just got rid of her when he got fed up with her. So Traumere is a careless person. He doesn't care about anybody but pretty much himself. And I don't know. This guy is just so odd, but he's such a great character. He's an amazing character, and it makes it better that you can't really tell like what face he's making throughout this whole like scene because of his mask. But before, it's like you already know that he's just making a stoic expression. He has no expressions whatsoever. So during the scene, we also get a little metaphor that SIU includes, and it is like Traumere having the blood dripping down from his hands, and then it's like making a pool of blood, and then Enkidu is at the bottom of the blood because he is the one who took the blame forcibly. And Enkidu is saying, yeah, you killed her, dude. But Traumere just denies it. He just denies it and gaslights Enkidu to hell. And man, I never thought Traumere would stoop this low. Like, considering he's a family leader, I didn't know he would have to throw people under the bus to, you know, get his way. But I guess that truly shows how Traumere has no shame in even doing tactics like this. So Traumere like smashes Enkidu's head, like metaphorically. And even when Enkidu tried telling Traumere that it was indeed him who controlled him, like he controlled Enkidu and made him kill Ameuz, Traumere just comes back with this quote, "I am the one who rules over all of you." And in other words, I don't give a shit. That's Traumere's comeback. He does not care. That is basically the emphasis, the epitome of Traumere's character. He doesn't give a shit. You can't really make Traumere care about something he never cared about before. So that brings into question, who was that one person Traumere cared about that Kieran brought up? He said that Traumere's love has been used up on someone a long time ago. We don't know who like he fell in love with, or maybe it was one of his kids or something. So I'm curious. So Traumere hasn't cared about anyone ever since Ameuz. Was there ever a point that made him like turn that way, or was he just born that way? That's still a mystery. We do know that there have been many incidents where they dispatched their memories and even some of their like feelings and emotions and human elements to become like these godlike beings of the tower. But I don't know if it took all of that to make Traumere what he is today. We get another badass quote that really resonates in this chapter, and Traumerei says the only thing that really matters is who controls the truth, and that cannot be more true, because the people in power can really manipulate the truth, manipulate history, and make it convenient for them, for the people that are looking back into the history and everything, to like not piece things together. So that's why I think Gustang was kind of fabricating stuff just out of kind of like peer pressure, because these guys are so corrupt, mostly Jahad and Traumerei, that they kind of like had Gustang maybe just like fabricate shit. And that's what Gustang ended up doing. Maybe it was to protect N or Blossom, like from persecution or some shit. But Gustang, maybe he just didn't even know it was the truth anymore, because he had one side of the story coming from Enkidu, one side coming from Traumerei. Yeah, it's really confusing. There's still a lot of missing puzzle pieces in this whole backstory, but it doesn't matter. What Traumerei said is true. These guys, these family leaders and Jahad, they are the strongest and most unique beings in this tower, so they can rule it how they see fit, and they don't really have to take anyone's opinions or objections into consideration, because they are the rulers. When Traumerei says this quote about the truth, we even see Goro pop out like right next to Enkidu and Bellrire, so it's like a 3-person like reaction. And I have no idea what this dude is doing here. Like, is he dead? Is he merged in with Enkidu? Can Enkidu turn back into him? Is Goro like one of White's siblings where they watch from within but they can't act? Like, what is going on? I don't know. Is it another metaphor? Like, I appreciate the metaphors and, like, you know, the creative language. What is it? What the fuck is it called? The literature, I guess. But oh man, if it's gonna cause confusion, I mean, might as well not do it, because I don't know if Goro's still alive or what. Anyway, I mean, that's not that important. We get back into the story with Enkidu losing his shit. Enkidu is losing his shit. So, Jesus Christ, I said this a while ago. Enkidu, he has been locked up for thousands of years, and the first thing he does when he gets unlocked or released from his prison is go back and hunt down Traumerei, and he wants to kill Traumerei when there is no way he can do that. Traumere is one of the few people in the tower Enkidu cannot touch. To add insult to injury, Traumere can just control him and use him as a pawn, just like he was gonna do like later on if it wasn't for Gustang. But that Enkidu is really dumb, dude. If I'm remembering or if I'm gathering his powers right, first of all, he's immortal. Nobody can kill him except family leaders or the pioneers, I guess. And second of all, he can kill anybody who he sees fit. So theoretically, well, anybody who's not a family leader. So theoretically, he can kill Adori Jahad, one of the strongest people in this tower. He can kill her right away if he really wants to. And you know how much of a crippling effect that would have on Jahad's army and the 10 great family leaders? Like that would be devastating, to kill Adori Jahad or to kill any of these other direct descendants from the families. You can even kill Arehan's top fighters. Like, that's OP. Enkidu's broken. I mean, if SIU wants to get rid of him because he's that broken, I don't blame him. But man, why are you gonna introduce such powerful and broken elements into the story, like, in the first place? Like, that doesn't make much sense, bro. Like, that's way too OP just to think of someone you want to die and they die. It's like this dude has a death note in his brain. So Bellrire tries to calm down Enkidu, because remember, Enkidu was screaming like a banshee. This guy held so much resentment, so much rage, even when he woke up. So, I mean, it's kind of like understandable and consistent with how angry he is right now. But Bellrire is like, yo, you're gonna get us killed. Even though at this point, I think it's too late, because you guys already showed up in front of Traumerei. Traumerei already knows Enkidu is on the loose. And I mean, I don't think Traumere is gonna let Enkidu go on a loose, despite how much he doesn't care. Like, Enkidu is a huge like threat. Like, believe it or not, Enkidu is probably a bigger threat than Bomb right now, because he could just kill like anybody he wants. So, I mean, that's very dangerous. So, like, Bellrire starts talking to Enkidu like he's in a Millennium Puzzle, like from Yu-Gi-Oh. And Traumere is like, oh, you're Bellrire, you're that guy from the Observer. So little by little, Bellrire, Enkidu, all these fucking guys, they start blowing their own cover, and Traumerei, he doesn't even have to work to get answers. These guys just feed it to him, and the ironic thing is they want to get him so bad. All of these guys hate Traumerei so bad, but they keep giving him information that helps him, and they make that goal of killing Traumerei harder and harder to achieve because of their own fault. So they talk about the game. I mean, the game, I think it's irrelevant at this point, especially with ending this chapter. I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think it's over. And that kind of always happens with these games. They just kind of end. But Bellrire says that, hey, I have your king in my possession, and you know what that means. Like, I have Holan in my possession too. And they're basically like, Holan is pretty much a king here. Like, they want Holan to be on either of their sides. And Traumerei is like, I think he's just playing dumb all this time. He's just playing dumb. I think he knew at the very beginning in the back of his head that Holan was going to betray him, because as we know, he doesn't trust anybody. And all of a sudden, Holan starts busting out laughing like the Joker, and he just releases everything he has against Traumerei, and Traumerei just hears him out. He hears him vent, he hears him rage and rave, and Holan even goes to the point in saying, now bend down to your knees and obey me, Lopabia Traumerei. And Traumerei just is not phased. Like, this whole chapter, not even when Gustang shows up, he is not phased at all. And these guys, the thing is, they keep trying to play Traumerei, and you guys should know by now, especially Enkidu, you cannot outplay this man. It's even in him that he's good at chess. Like, this dude is always 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. You can't outplay Traumerei, guys. What the fuck? So we find out that Holan has these parasites in him that allows Traumerei to control him. So they are all like convinced that, oh, Holan is human, he can't be controlled. Like, Traumerei can't control humans. Like, he can never do that. But Traumerei found a way to bypass that limitation by implementing these like experimental parasites, like making Holan into a kind of prototype, and like control him that way. And that he does, because Holan, he just has all this black blood or whatever gushing out, and when Bellrire tries to stop him, Holan just explodes. Like, his clothes rip open, and wow, it's just, these guys are all like getting their shit stomped. Traumerei had this all planned from the very beginning. He knew what he was doing, and none of their plans, none of whatever they did is up to no challenge against Traumerei. One stupid thing Holan did was blow Kieran's cover. He said that even Kieran betrayed Traumerei, and I was like, god damn it. In the live stream, I was like, dude, Kieran was going great. He had the element of surprise above Traumerei, which I honestly don't think would have mattered anyway, but still, it's something he had, and Traumere wasn't aware that he got betrayed by Kieran, and you blew that cover for him for no good reason, because you were about to die anyway. You guys have such big fucking mouths. You guys keep telling Traumere all this shit, and he just keeps winning more and more. You make it easier for him to get ahead of you guys. Like, these guys are idiots. They deserve to get crushed. But as they are about to get crushed, Gustang pops in and blocks Traumere's attack because he has had enough of everyone's bullshit. And Gustang is like, oh, it took me a while to get my memories back, but I made up my mind and I am here to kill you. And that is where the chapter ends. So yeah, this was an awesome chapter. A total huge step up from last week's and the weeks before and the week before that. And it's a good little break from the Bomb and Dumas fight. So next chapter, I don't know what we're gonna see. If we're gonna see the family leader fight like happening right now, like in this next week, that's hype. That's hype. That's history being made in Tower of God right there. But I also kind of don't really want to see the bomb fight. I mean, that's a total step down from what we're about to get right here. And the other one, the boss fight, that either. I want to see this family leader fight, dude. I really want to see it. And if not, then I would rather see the bomb fight end, because I mean, we're already like kind of in the middle there, and the fight with the boss is about to begin. So I'd rather just finish shit up instead of starting new stuff. So whatever is next week, it's gonna be all right. I think next week's chapter is gonna be all right at least. It's not gonna be that bad. So yeah. Other things I got to say about this chapter, like I said, they blew Kieran's cover. So I mean, Kieran, I don't know, he might get assassinated now because Traumerei has his eyes on him, or he knows that he is betraying him. But honestly, it probably won't even matter because he's going to be fighting Gustang, so he probably might not even make it alive if Gustang uses the bracelet right and gets rid of him. And we also got to remember Urek and Luzlek are coming into this battlefield, so that might cause like an impedance in this fight and disrupt Traumerei from dying or Gustang from dying. And yeah, so the way the story is looking right now, Traumerei is the main villain. Like, even in the little startup thing I made in the stream, I put Traumerei having his back against everyone because he is the big villain of the story. It's him and then Jahad, because they are both like brothers, dude. They both do the same thing. Like with women, they deal with them the same. They have their little experiments going on in Traumerei's labs. Like, these guys are one and the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if Traumere fell, that Jahad starts getting involved with shit and they try to just take down Gustang or whatever allies Gustang has, maybe at a Holan or something. But yeah, with all that said, looking forward for next week's chapter. I'm gonna do another live reaction, so if you guys want to tune in, I'll set the stream like an hour. I'll give it like a 2 or 1 hour like warning, and then I'll start it, and then there'll be like a 5-minute join time like last time. So if you guys want to tune in for that, feel free. But with all that said, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you in the next chapter.